Chapter 5. The next morning, Minli felt as if her head was spinning with thoughts and plans. She was so busy thinking and plotting that she barely noticed her parents nodding sadly at each other when they saw the empty fishbowl. And in the fields, when Minli worked as if in a daze, her parents said nothing about her slow and messy painting. When the sun began to set and Minli went home to make dinner, she quickly washed and made the rice. Then she set the table for 2 people, sat down, and wrote this note. Dear Ma and Ba, I am going to Never-Ending Mountain to ask the Old Man of the Moon how I can change our fortune. I might be away for many days, but don't worry, I'll be fine. When I come back, we will be able to fill our house with gold and jade. Love, your obedient daughter, Minli. The obedient part isn't completely true, Minli thought to herself as she knew her parents would not be happy to find her gone. But it's not false either. They didn't say I couldn't go, so I'm not being disobedient. Still, Minli knew that wasn't entirely right either, but she shook away her uneasy feeling and prepared for her journey. On a blanket, she put a needle, a pair of chopsticks, her white rabbit rice bowl, a small piece of dried bamboo, a hollow gourd full of water, a small knife, a fish net, some uncooked rice, a large pot, and 1 remaining copper coin. Then she wrapped her blanket into a bag, tied it on her back, and took a last look at the shabby house. Through the windows, Fruitless Mountain stood like a shadow, but Minli closed her eyes and imagined the house shimmering with gold and the mountain jade green with trees, and smiled. Then she opened the door and left. Chapter 6. As Minli left the house, she was afraid some of her neighbors would stop her or ask where she was going. She felt she must look mysterious with a large bag on her back and full of excitement. But no one noticed her. The neighbors kept sweeping the doorways, hanging their laundry, and preparing dinner. A boy and girl continued their fight over a pretend feast of mud. When the mother called them for dinner, both refused to move, each clinging to their dishes of wet dirt. Minli had to smile at their foolishness. So Minli walked right out of the village without causing a second glance. At the edge of the village, she turned toward Fruitless Mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, she unwrapped her blanket and took out her knife, needle, rice bowl, bamboo piece, and jug of water. Then she tried to remember all of the goldfish's instructions. She cracked off a small bit of stone and rubbed it up and down the needle 99 times before tossing it back to the ground. Then she filled her rice bowl halfway with water and let the bamboo float in it. After that, she picked up the needle and looked at the white rabbit on her bowl. Okay, she said to the jumping rabbit, lead the way. And she placed the needle onto the bamboo. Like magic, the needle spun around. Minli smiled. Thank you, Minli said again to the painted rabbit. Now I'll follow where you want me to go. Minli packed up her things and, carefully holding the bowl in her hand, walked in the direction of the needle past Fruitless Mountain. Goodbye, Jade Dragon, Minli said as she left. When I come back, I will know how to make you happy again. Minli walked, and the stony land slowly turned into forest. Even when the moon was high in the sky, she continued. I want to make sure I walk far enough that if Ma and Ba begin to look for me, they can't find me, Minli said to herself. The fallen leaves made a soft carpet for her feet, and the night birds flew into the sky as she passed. Only when the sky lightened to gray and the sun began to peek over the horizon did Minli sit down and rest against a tall tree. She had traveled deep into the forest, far from her village and her home. She was so tired that she quickly fell asleep.